I just wanted to say how humbled and honored I am to be here, especially after Veterans Day. Thanks to everyone for their service. My story really began 5 years ago when I had my daughter at the height of COVID and I was teaching. I've been teaching for 15 years now. Started 15 years ago. I'm an English teacher, and that has really guided my entrepreneurial path. After I had my daughter and then my son, I decided to start a college advising business that I've had for a couple of years. And then when I decided to take a break from teaching for a little bit, I asked my co-teacher, Natalie, to publish a magazine with me. So we were contacted through a parent company called Best Version Media, and it's throughout the country. And if anyone is looking to start on their own entrepreneurial path, they are looking for publishers to bring magazines, local magazines, all over the country, no matter where you are. And so with the parent company, they kind of give you a training on how to work their back office to create the magazine, but also to garner sales, commission-based situation where you receive 80% of the commission on a sales ad. And so they talk you through how to sit through the meeting, how to close the deal, how to follow up, things like that. All the training comes from within the company. Um, I found it quite engaging and I loved it. So we started publishing a magazine in Scituate, which is on the South Shore. And the first publication was last December.
What did your
And so
magazine address?
what is it?
What did it cover?
The
What?
magazine. So the magazine, essentially what it is it is a hyper local magazine that features a family on the cover every month, a different family. So you get to meet so many people in the community. The feature story is about the family.
Okay.
And within it, what I chose to include, because the teacher and me just kind of naturally went that way, we had an academics corner. We put the sports schedule in. We had a note from the superintendent. We had the council on aging right in. So it was all different kind of powerhouse members of the community writing in so that it was everything that had to do with the town. And so based on that, we were able to just kind of reach 4,200, about 4,000 houses a month with all that information in there.
Wow.
And from this, we naturally kind of had our own network as every single month we were reaching those 4,000 people. And then from there, in order to publish the magazine, we needed to find sponsors for it, basically ads. And so what we did was very serendipitous. We went to BNI meetings. Have you ever heard of the BNI networking meetings? So
Oh,
we went to a bunch of those and we were able to meet a lot of different people there. And from there, we were invited to other networking meetings and we actually launched our own networking group each month that all of our clients went to. It's been incredible in that way. We use Eventbrite to get the information out. And we work with 3 other kind of businesses to put this on each month. And that has been invaluable in the sense that we see our clients every month. We get to meet new people. The Chamber of Commerce, they have their rep come every month. And so it's been really, really wonderful in that way. And I also joined 2 other networking groups, one in my town specifically. And there's a women-based entrepreneurial group in the South Shore that I joined. And so it's through those that we really got it off the ground because it was through, like Jody and Damon were saying, we were having these really great connections, genuine conversations, and people wanted to be a part of it. And so it ended up working out really well for us. And we launched last December and we've continued our progress through this year. So over the course of the year, every business has its ups and downs. There were times where I was you know, frustrated that we weren't meeting as many people as we wanted in the winter when everyone was hibernating. And then there are different times of year where people, you know, set their budgets and you have to access them at the right time. But we did find a lot of joy in it. And for us, it was really about community and getting to know people in the town and other local businesses. We tried, our goal was to keep everything as local as possible. I feel like some of the networking we were discussing earlier was like bigger on a larger scale, more macro scale. We have been micro, everything was super local for us. So that's why our networking was a little bit smaller, but still really, really successful. But in a crazy turn of events, I will probably go back to teaching in the fall. So we did hand the magazine back to our parent company.
Did you
They
actually start making money?
What is it?
Did you actually start making money with the
Oh
magazine?
yeah. Oh yeah. It was great. It was wonderful. I just something I learned about myself as an entrepreneur is I like to bite off a lot. And while I can chew, it's not necessarily easy to chew. And so we made a decision to hand it back and let someone else kind of take what we started and grow it even more, which has been delightful to see. And so that was not an easy decision, but it was the right move for us. And we were so proud of like what we created and the networking group we helped to launch and the all the local nonprofits we got to know and help kind of debut for the community. And so yeah, that's kind of our story. And I will go back to teaching and running my college advising business.
Did you have partners?
So my partner, Natalie Allen, she's from Hingham. She is a teacher at Hingham High. Her kids are a bit older than mine. They're in high school. She and I did this together. We started it in the summer, of what's this year, 2025, 2024, summer of 2024. And we launched the magazine by December.
How do you set a value on what you've got in terms of turning this over to another group?
So because we worked with a larger parenting company, they take the magazine back and they just find a new publisher to replace you. So while we technically owned the name of the Scituate Living brand, since they are the ones with which the businesses technically had the contract, they take it back. And the one thing that we did keep that we will hand over eventually is we created an Instagram account. And so we use that to couple with the magazine, the print magazine. And I have to say the social media presence was a very big deal in terms of getting the word out about the print magazine too. I highly recommend having some sort of social media in this day and age, whether it's just posts or stories, depending on your business, but it does make a big difference. We connected with a lot of different businesses that way as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, it certainly was. It's the thing that we realized about having your own business is, well, you are good at what you do. You know, you're good at publishing, writing the stories, finding the sponsors. The the social media end is its own job as well. It's like a full-time job to keep up on social media. And it is important to have those connections. It's almost as if it's its own virtual networking group in and of itself. And so, yeah, that was a big learning curve for us that we took on and enjoyed. So the parent company has a map of the region, and Natalie and I sat with the company and pointed out the different neighborhoods that were more residential. And it's based on the single family homes of the highest value, because hypothetically they would have the income to spend on the sponsors who brought the magazine to them. So there is no digital component because what the company believed is that it is almost the pendulum swing back to print that makes it really interesting. and holding it and sitting, the value of sitting on your coffee table or your dining room table and having someone flip through, and seeing kids in the community. The goal was for us to make it, I grew up in Braintree and we had something called the Braintree Forum. And, they always had local kids sports, student of the month, that kind of thing. And so we wanted to bring that back. And that was the community piece we wanted to hone in on. And so that's what we did. And it was the idea of keeping it, and putting it in that scrapbook versus the digital piece. The most digital we went was maybe putting a PDF of the cover on Instagram. That was the most we did so that people wanted to read the magazine. The baseline for the magazine was around $7,000. So we needed to reach that point in sales. And then anything beyond that, we made 80% of the commission. And so each month we had to do that depending on, there are so many different ways to be in the magazine. You could be an expert. You could just do a regular ad. You could do a full page ad. Depending on that, we usually needed about 12 to get the magazine to print each month. And then beyond that, we had at one point up to like 20 to 25 sponsors of the magazine. We worked on year-long contracts with Best because you needed to have the confidence and the foresight to know you'd be able to print the next month. So it worked in 12 to 36 month contracts. I would say 80% of our contracts are 1 year because a lot of businesses, these are hard times. And so, it's a big commitment to advertise and market. So we usually did 1 year ads, and we gave the best rates we possibly could. And we worked with them as much as we could to have them at the networking meetings, to make sure that their ads were up to date, that they were visually pleasing ads, things like that. We had the sponsors write in as much as they could if they wanted to share things about their industry. For instance, we had a jeweler that each month kind of wrote in about like little tidbits on jewelry that I found fascinating. Same thing about with one of our estheticians. She wrote in about skincare and skin health. Another expert was on mental health that, tried to find out what was going on in town and write something that would help people in town. It was really nice. We had a really great community of sponsors. I will say though, if there are veterans looking for something on their own time, make their own schedule, commission, Best Version Media, they are a super supportive company with their professional development. They have, Natalie and I were our own entity, but there was a group of South Shore publishers that met each week. Then there's a Northeast division. There are meetings every week. They will open a magazine in almost any town in America, as long as it has enough people to send it out to, not one of those like 200 people towns, but more like a 3,000 to 4,000 range. And so, yeah, it's a great chance for someone who wants to try to go out on their own, but kind of have a support, like a base and guide, and they'll give you a coach. They'll give you all sorts of different resources to help you. You're basically walking into a prefab that's going to help you to be your own person and figure out your own business to the So you remember how I said there's an $8,000 baseline? So the buy-in is to get to that 8,000. You won't get paid until you get to that 8,000. So you could be working for a couple of months until the magazine goes to print, and then you make money after that. So you don't actually have to spend anything, and you can do it all from your house if you so choose. Like if you want to do virtual meetings, but that is essentially the buy-in. It's your own blood, sweat, and tears.